Hi, I'm Anika Tabachnick. I'm the Creative Aging Programs Associate at the Bainbridge Island Museum of Art, and I'm here for another Art in Action, BIMA from Home. After some of the recent storms, I've been finding fallen branches, big and small, all over my street. And I wanted to share with you how I've been using these found treasures to experiment with one of my favorite mediums, weaving. We are going to be using some found twigs or small branches to weave on. So you're going to need something that has a nice Y shape like this, because those are going to be either side of your mini loom. You will need your Y-shaped twig, some scissors, and whatever yarn you want to use. A tapestry needle or needle with a wide opening works well for this project, though you might also consider tying your yarn around a chopstick if you're working on a bigger scale. A fork will make the perfect weaving comb as we pack our yarn to one side. We will begin by creating our warp, which is what our yarn will weave in and out of. To do this, we'll tie a double knot around one of the branches before looping our yarn around that branch a few times. Bring your yarn over the other branch, coming under towards your knot, and then going over again before pulling the yarn under and repeating the process, spacing the yarn as evenly as possible as you move your way up your twig. Once you've reached the top of your twig and have decided to stop, loop the yarn around the branch before cutting it off with a long tail. You'll use this tail to tie a knot with the upper thread of your warp, pulling your yarn under it to make a loop, and then through itself to create a secure knot. Repeat this process so that you have two knots that have been tied around one side of your twig and with the upper thread of your warp. Don't worry about the tails on either end of your warp. We'll tuck those in at the end. To begin weaving, thread the yarn through your needle or tie it around your chopstick, and bring your needle under, then over, then under, then over, gently pulling it through as you go. When you reach the end of your warp, you're going to turn around and do the same thing back down your branch, going over each thread that you went under and under each that you went over. Between rows, you can gently tamp down the yarn to one side with your fork. Once you reach the point that you want to change the color in your yarn, proceed as if you're going to create another row, but only pull your needle through the first few threads in your warp before unthreading it from your needle and leaving a long tail at the back side of your weaving. Introduce your new color in the same way that you started with your last section of yarn, making sure to maintain the over-under pattern, continuing to weave until there's no space between the two sides of your twig. We'll now look at the back side of the weaving, taking all of the tails left behind from changing colors and starting new yarn, and tying them together before trimming the excess yarn. There's lots of space to experiment when it comes to making looms with natural materials. I'd love if you shared what you come up with and what your experience was twig weaving. Until next time, this is Art in Action, BIMA from Home.